I was very burnt out for about 2 years. Because I didn't write anything, I think all of 2018. I just had no idea, not a single idea. And I kept working. I was producing more at that point. And I was kind of working on that side of things a bit more and acting occasionally. But I wasn't creating anything really. And I look back now and I'm like, yeah, that was burnout, like proper burnout. And I only kind of started coming out of that level of burnout really in 2019. Like it took a while, like, and it really took kind of stepping back from the industry, to be honest with you, and focusing on the other things in my life. And, really kind of opening myself up to just being a person again, and, engaging with friends and, family and like, hobbies, like just like the stuff that you kind of just take for granted in a lot of ways. But that stuff kind of helped to sort of refuel me in a lot of ways. I needed that space. I needed that time away from the pressure that I was putting on myself as much as anything else. And then the pandemic happened, which was actually for me was quite helpful because it allowed me the space to sort of reconsider how I was approaching my work. So as I had said, I was producing, and once the pandemic hit and I had a second, I had just produced a show, which I really enjoyed doing, but I realized I just had no joy for it anymore in my heart. Like I kind of Marie Kondoed it. I was just like, I don't find joy here. And I decided, you know what, I'm just going to step away from producing for now. And I'm really going to focus on writing, because telling stories has always been the thing, I suppose, that has really inspired me. And I love the idea of telling stories that people haven't had the chance to hear before. So over the lockdown, I got a chance to spend more time writing, like really focusing on writing. And then through that process of kind of delving more into the craft of writing, I started to realize that thinking, and because of the pandemic as well, it sort of forced me to think about, well, I don't know if this is ever going to go on. Like most of the time I had written plays and then they had like a date they were going on stage. So for the first time, it was like, I don't know if this will ever be produced. I don't know when theaters are going to open. So it sort of took that pressure off, and it meant that I refocused my energy on the process and really engaging with being a writer and being creative and my imagination being let loose and just trying and failing and embracing that sort of cycle was like, oh, whoa, this is it. This is what I love. I actually love this, the making of the work, more now than I ever have before. And a part of that is, I think, as well, because I no longer feel like I need the result to make me feel like I get like such a high from like writing a line and I'm like, oh, I did such a good like line there. That character is so witty, like that's like, for me, that's it. Like, I'm done for the day, like that's where my joy comes from. That's where my sense of accomplishment comes from. And even days when I'm like, I wrote like one line, but I sat there and I tried, or I wrote notes, or I thought about it. Like, it's all the process now for me. And I think that has been a really powerful tool in taking a lot of the pressure off